Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to Playground. I'm Carrie Lobman. I am the originator and leader of the Playground series, and I am also the director of pedagogy here at the Eastside Institute. The Eastside Institute of where you are, I was just about to say, I'm also a professor of education, is a international research and training center for new approaches to human development, learning, psychology, education. We are on a mission to free humanity from the shackles of psychology. I thought you were coming somewhere fun, but it turns out I'm going to speak in big words. That's our mission. What we do is a great deal of training for people both all over the world and here in New York City. We run a therapist training program which prepares people to be social therapists, the therapeutic practice that the Institute practices. Thank you. And we run other kinds of classes, trainings, events for everybody else. So I lead a series called Revolutionary Conversations, which are classes in anything from creativity to therapy to learning to design that take a postmodern and creative look at these fields and what's going on in them and what are the most innovative practices in them. We run an international class. I'm Ed is a member of that class for people from all over the world who want to learn our approach. And we also do individualized training for people interested in growing and developing in whatever areas of life they're working in. So Playground, which is what we're here to do tonight, is actually my favorite activity that I do here at the Institute. I think this is probably a little over a year anniversary of Playground. And like I said, in addition to my work here, I'm a professor of education at Rutgers, and I got my doctorate at Teachers College, Columbia University, in play. So I am in love with play. I think play is fabulous for young children, and sadly not done enough for the rest of us. So I was a preschool teacher for many years and discovered my love and passion for play then. Well, probably I discovered my love and passion for play about 15 years before that, when I was 2. But I discovered it as an adult, as a preschool teacher, and have been working ever since to create environments for adults to play. And in large part because I think it's impossible to overstate the role of play in being able to grow and do new things and develop. I think it's only when we're able to play, meaning do things we don't know how to do, take on new roles, be silly, be foolish, make mistakes, all the things that one does when one plays. It's only when we do those things that we can actually grow and develop. Because if we only do what we know, what we're sure we're going to get right, what looks good, we can't particularly grow and develop. It's why I'm suspicious that maybe Major League Baseball, which we consider play, is probably not very developmental. For the people playing. For the people watching, I have no problem. So what I've done with Playground is I have created a series where every 3 or 4 months I invite somebody who is an expert in some area of play to come and play with me. The goal being that both I, as a researcher, the person who's coming as the expert, and all of us can make some discoveries together. So it's kind of it's a laboratory in the sense that what we're going to do is play, and we're not going to worry while we're playing about taking notes or writing those things down or being objective. And at the same time, we're going to see if we can make some discoveries. Discoveries about what play is, discoveries about what might be growthful about it, what's hard about it. One of the wonderful things about me as a researcher is I don't have a predetermined hypothesis about what we're going to discover. I think we will discover the hypothesis in the same moment that we discover whatever it is we're going to discover. So So I'm hoping you'll join me tonight in that quest. Tonight I am joined by one of my favorite playmates. Sometimes here at Playground. Sometimes here at Playground I invite people I don't know very well. I've either read something about them, I've seen them play, and I'm intrigued by what they're doing, and we create something together that in some ways we're not only discovering something about play, we're discovering something about each other at the same time. Tonight I decided to invite somebody who I've been playing with for a very long time. So Marian Rich, who is sitting to my left, I've been playing with her for a long time, and I'm still going to read her bio because it's very impressive. Marian Rich is a founding member of the Castillo Theater. The Castillo Theater is part of the All Stars Project, which is a sister organization of the Institute. Uses our methodology, and we are vastly smarter because of the work that they do. Where she has performed in dozens of productions, including Fred Newman's one-woman show, Diary of a Mad Therapist, and she actually wrote for you. Is that right?
For the APA. Thank you, the American Psychological Association.
And the Off-Broadway Melodies of 1592, as well as many, many other productions. She's a very talented improviser. Marian performed in Castillo's long-running comedy shows, The Gables and This Is Your Ridiculous Life, and will soon appear in a new improv show with no title, which we think will probably not be the final title, but we're not sure. That premieres July 30th, 2010. Marian is on the faculty of the All-Star Project's Youth on Stage, where she teaches improv, and where she inspires young people with the joy of improvisational performance. Marian and I have both been improvising for a long time, Marian longer than I, and about 2 years ago, we both decided to take an improv class together. So we started going to the Magnet Theater, which is one of the improv schools in New York, and it was a blast to take a beginner's class of something you've been doing for a while, and I think what we both discovered was there was so much more to learn. So part of why I invited Marian here was I feel like she brings the joy of learning and teaching together when she does improv, and I thought that would be helpful to us. Before I turn it over to her, because mostly she's going to lead us this evening, this was the request I made of her, of what I thought I wanted us to explore tonight, and we'll see if something new might emerge. The first playground I did here was with a very talented improviser, Larry Rosen, and we did a lot of exercises that were nonverbal. So some of you, I think, were there, but we did a lot of exercises that involved either silence and physical activity or making sounds but not words, and it was a pretty magical evening, I think, for a lot of people, in that when you're not saying words, one of the things that can happen pretty quickly, I think, is you give up your commitment to yourself and your truth and what you know you want to have happen. Because we're a very verbal species, or at least Americans seem to be very verbal commitment. So it was very playful in that way, and I was really intrigued by the idea of seeing if you could take that freedom of giving up your commitment to truth and what you know to be going on into the activity where you're using words and verbal language. So that's a little bit of what we're going to play with tonight. We're going to see if in doing some more language-oriented games and activities, we can play with giving up our commitment to what's right and what's true and what's... they shift a tiny bit. We're actually going to get up in about a minute, so... of course you can be... Okay, and so that's one of the things I want to see if we can explore. If we don't end up exploring it, that's all right, we'll still have fun. So I'm going to turn it over to Marian. We're going to start playing together. And if at any point anybody's confused, doesn't know what we're doing, wants to ask a question, stop us, ask us what you want to ask us. We have a real range here, I think, of people who've got some improv experience and other people who might be brand new to this, and we knew that and designed it that way, so we're going to create an environment where I think everybody can stretch, take some risks together. Okay?
Great. Thank you, Carrie. It's nice to be here with all of you, and I don't know what everybody's been doing all week and today, but I know for me, I need to like get rid of all that stuff we do all the time. So I thought we could jump into one of the silliest games I know, and just have some, pure silly time, and then we'll get to
Have some
this.
unpure serious.
And then silliness is over. So let's all stand up.
Can you push your chairs back, because we probably want to get a little bit extra space.
And I don't know if people are, for those of us who have done some improv work, if you know a game called Bunny Bunny.
Yeah.
We have some Bunny Bunny players. Okay, excellent. So, one of the things about improvising is that you have to attend to a number of things at once, which of course we all do all the time. I find life and improv are exactly the same. Everybody acts like, I can't improvise, but of course, maybe one of you have your script in your back pocket. I don't, so it does sort of come naturally.
What is Bunny Bunny?
That's the best question. What is Bunny Bunny? It is a ridiculous game, which has different elements. The first element is our bunny element. And that consists of taking our hands like this. We're just going to break it down first, and we're going to say bunny bunny and make our little bunny ears to ourselves. Bunny, bunny. And then we're going to turn them out to somebody, but right now to everybody. And we're going to do it again. Bunny, bunny. Okay? So that's our first element of bunny, bunny. I'm not going in any particular order. When you're not doing bunny, bunny, you're doing this. You're just keeping time, and the word that we're going to do is toki, 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 toki. What? I'm wrong.
You are.
Thank you. Yeah, it takes a lot to master this. It takes like millions of years. So the thank you, my friends. Kumbha. Pumbaa, Pumbaa, Pumbaa. Okay? So what do we know so far? We know Pumbaa and Bunny, 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 Bunny. Okay. So before I go into the Toki Tokis, so everybody's doing Pumbaa. Bunny, Bunny is one person at a time is going to, like if I'm starting, I would go Bunny, Bunny, and then I'm going to make eye contact with somebody across from me, and I'm going to send that bunny bunny to you. Bunny bunny. And when you've got to be pretty clear about where it's going. Eye contact in all these games is really important. So you saw that coming your way, and you're going to bunny. Well, first to me, right? I'm sending it to you. So bunny bunny, and then bunny. No. Okay.
First to you.
Bunny.
That's right.
This is just a teaching opportunity. It's a very good teaching opportunity for me because, as you can see, I've made a series of mistakes. I could be utterly mortified by the fact that I'm driving people crazy, but I'm not going to go. I always joy and relish in my long day. Okay, so.
You're making us feel smart.
Good. See, you already are way ahead of me. Okay. So I'm going to go bunny, 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 bunny. And you're going to do bunny, bunny. And then you can pass that to someone else.
Bunny, bunny.
We'll do a few of those just to get
Bunny,
used to
bunny.
it, right?
Bunny bunny. Bunny bunny. Bunny bunny.
Bunny, 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 bunny.
Bunny,
You
bunny,
said it back to me.
bunny, bunny.
Okay, great. So we got a flavor of bunny bunny? Yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, everybody's doing, kumbah, kumbah. And bunny bunny, bunny bunny, passing out. Now, that bunny bunny comes to me, and I'm doing bunny bunny, bunny bunny. The people to my left and right, well, there's different versions. Yes, but in how I do it, you're going to just face the person in between. So I'm going bunny, 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 and these two people are going toki, 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 toki. Okay? Whenever if that bunny is coming to a person to your left or right, that's your cue. That you're into toki, toki. Okay? So those are the elements. Now that I've figured them out, I will review. So, kumbah, 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 bunny, 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 and then toki, 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 toki. All right? So nice and slowly, we'll put this all together, and then when I get a sense that, it's going well, we're going to speed up. That's when it gets really fun. And what speeds up, of course, is our kumbahs, and then everything has to be at that pace. All right, you really, that's right. You've got the whole bunny bunny. Yeah, I can. I'm getting your bunny bunny essence, which is very important. Okay. So everybody ready?
Yeah.
I know, it's exciting. Here we go. Kumbah, 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 bunny, 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 bunny.
Bunny, 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 bunny.
How's that going? Is it stressful? It's awful and stressful.
We've done our job.
So that it's not fun. Excellent. Okay. What's not fun about that? Being facetious. Yeah, slow it down.
Slow it down.
All right, we'll slow it down. And we'll just take each element one more time. So remember what I was saying about the challenge here is that you have to learn to attend to your job, your bunny bunnies. You gotta keep your bunny bunnies going, which means you have to sort of watch it around the room, keep your kumbahs going, and know that, we're passing these around. Okay?
And
So,
keep your bunny bunnies in the rhythm.
yes, everything should be in a rhythm. Actually, the rhythm. So let's just work as a group on our toki
You
toki.
can remind people, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so we're going to try one more round. We'll do it a little bit slower, and then we'll move on, which will be a big relief.
Well, you don't know when we haven't scored that.
Yes,
Sometimes it seems like the bunny bunny comes and goes so quickly, so by the time you're ready or something.
yes.
So is that because we're not watching that the bunny bunnies come in?
I think
Maybe
so.
that's why.
I think so.
We're not watching where it's coming in.
Yeah, I think if you keep your eye on it, and also one thing that I noticed is in passing them, that's got to be very deliberate and fairly clean. So, you know, if I go bunny, 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 I mean, there's no hope that anybody can take that bunny, bunny. So be very clear. All right? We'll give it one more time. So I would like you to have the experience of the fun of bunny, bunny. And
Laughing house.
and if not, yeah, it's ridiculous. And I know for me, I often do, I confuse the words of these different things. It just so doesn't matter. Okay, just remember that. Nothing matters. That's the fun. Okay, ready? So let's do a pace like bunny, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba. Good pace for everybody. Bunny, 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 boom, ba.
Toki, 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 toki.
Bunny, bunny, bunny,
Everybody, pair up with somebody who you do not know at all. All right, so
Then you're first.
look for somebody that you don't know.
Hello, you're Carrie, by the way.
How are we doing?
I said I don't know.
Or you don't know very well.
I don't know.
It can also be you don't.
Or do you guys know each other?
Okay.
They're already doing it.
All right.
Why do you do?
What we're going to do now is Jan and Ann. You know each other. You're going to find out things about each other you don't know. So I want everybody to take really about a minute, just a minute to not interview, but talk to your partner and just find out some information about them. Anything, wherever you go, where your curiosity goes.
Is it two-way or is it one?
Yeah,
person
we're going to do 1 minute and then we're going to switch. Okay, so that's all you're doing. Just talk to each other,
So you have 1
be
minute.
your curious selves, find out a little bit about them, and I'll say switch in about a minute. Okay? Yeah, whatever you want. However you get to know each other. You know each other. Just tell us their name and whatever you like about them. All right? So why don't you?
Well, I mean, my partner's.
Okay, go stand by your partner. Are you all standing by your partner?
Standing by my partner.
Except.
So you can go first.
Okay. All right. Okay. Great. All right. So Gwen, kick us off. Nice and big.
Jamie Richardson. Jamie works for the census. Not only does she work for the census, right, doing her part for bringing those tax dollars into New York City, but she is doing it in Spanish. She only had 2 years of Spanish in high school, and she's speaking to people in Spanish, and she's understanding what they're saying.
Lowenheim, who, it turns out, took Spanish in both high school and college, and she's also interested in making that part of an ongoing thing. So she's taken workshops, classes. She really wants to know how to communicate in Spanish, and minored in it in college.
Wonderful. So just as we go around, let's save our applause for after both people.
Okay, and not after the whole group, right? Just
What?
after both people.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. We might hold our applause to the end of everybody. Okay, next pair.
This is Cecilia, and she is doing a lot of reading right now, reading all the time because she's taking a lot of classes here. And when she's not reading, she's listening to music and dancing in her living room.
Lovely.
This is Dylan, who has 2 dogs. What were the dogs? Dachshunds, and also enjoys color green at the moment, but usually goes for blue. This is Kathy, and she loves to hang out with friends and to go to the movies. And her favorite movie is Ghostbusters.
Excellent. And this is Nina, who is so amazing. She's a longtime friend of Carrie Lobman, who's leading this workshop. So,
She's amazing.
And she's been in social therapy, and she's been the teaching fellowship program here at the Eastside Institute, and she loves to do improv. So this is the place for you.
Beautiful.
This is Angela. She has a 22-year-old daughter who's graduating college very soon, Sarah Lawrence, so she's very excited for that. And she went to the gynecologist for the first time, well, not for the first time, but in a very long time, so she's happy that she made it.
We have here Larissa,
Nice.
who enjoys being asked questions
Yes.
and was not as comfortable being forthcoming with facts about herself. So I know her name is Larissa, and the minute was up.
Next is Bella, who I just met, who is a world famous, well, not yet, but shortly, famous artist, who's traveled the world. Some of her works are in Venice, and they will be shortly seen in Paris.
This is Arlene Allen, who is a creative individual, one step away from being a designer and a mother and an actress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Carrie, one of the best, not one of the best, the best improviser in New York City. Her sideline is she's a teacher, but she's the best improviser, and that's what she's going for. Cool. So, without further ado, Carrie!
This is Anne. And what's a really remarkable coincidence is Anne is also one of the best improvisers here. She's actually leading a workshop tomorrow in Prospect Park.
Wow.
Is everybody invited?
Yes.
Everybody's invited.
Flyers.
And she walked in late, so she doesn't really know what we're doing.
Okay. This is Ahmed! And he is an international learning superstar. He is from Pakistan, but he lives in Italy, but he's currently in New York. And he's going to integrate all this amazing knowledge and bring it to the whole world.
Woo!
This is Talon. I just met with my partner, and she lives in New Jersey, and she is business maker. Anybody who wants to be a businessman or businesswoman must contact her. now she is working how to develop a new businesses.
Oh,
And she is also integrating these all skills in her business.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Anne Alexis. And in New York City, the international capital of the world, Anne hails from the Caribbean, from Jamaica. But as an international citizen, she grew up in Grenada before coming to New York City to go to college. Anne now lives in the great borough of Brooklyn, and we're happy to have her here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, stars and moons, this is Jan. One of the smartest people I know, and she's interested. She knows everything about psychology, any kind of psychology that you can think of, and we share the interest in movies.
I introduce to you Annika, the world's best watermelon bubblegum chewer. She chews and she chews and she chews, and the flavor of the watermelon diminishes as she grows. Annika.
This is Linda. She lives on the Upper West Side.
Right, and our final two.
I'd like to introduce you to Barb. She's very interested in early education, and she's actually practiced early education, but I think she wants to share her information with other teachers, so she's now teaching teachers early education.
Very good.
Oh, hi. Guess what? This is Robin. She loves to eat in the pizzeria. Which is why I'm making a pizza. And she likes pepperoni. She likes onion. She likes garlic. She likes that one with ziti on top. She loves them all. And she eats in the pizzeria, my pizzeria, downstairs from her apartment every day.
So now we know a little bit about each other. And I'm going to change up a little, Carrie.
I can improvise.
Okay, good. So we learned a lot from talking to each other, right? So the information we heard gave us an idea of who everybody is. So now I want to do another exercise that's a nonverbal exercise, which is similar in terms of finding out information. Let's just see what we can do with that. So you can keep your same pairs, and you're not going to plan this at all. We're just going to go around. I'm going to give you like a moment to think about this. We're going to go around, and I want that each pair to sort of step forward a little bit and convey. Person A is going to convey to person B some situation, something that's going on in your world, in your life, in your relationship, however you want that to be. It can be happy, it can be sad, whatever. But all you're going to do is convey it by how you're standing physically. You know, just by your physicality, the expression on your face, just how you are with your partner, okay? And then we're just going to take a look at this. And we're going to do this, fairly quickly without a lot of, thinking about it. Just
One at a
jump
time?
into it. Yeah, each pair at a time, okay?
No, one person in the pair at a time?
Yes, so that because I want to just put a spotlight on it so that we're all looking at this, and let's see as we continue what we make of this, okay?
So we'll both do our posture?
We'll
at
do
the
one
same
at a time. No,
Okay.
one at a time.
Okay.
So person A will convey non-verbally, and we're not going to do sign language convey, but literally it might just be how you're standing. So, you know, I might look at you like this. Yeah, that's my face. And my body language is just kind of like that. So, I don't know, what did you think about what's going on?
You're either in physical pain or both physical pain and are you're you're seriously upset about something.
Okay, what did you see?
You have to go to bed.
Okay, that's good. And what did you see over there?
I thought you were in trouble.
In trouble. And what did
Someone
you?
really shy.
Okay.
Nervous.
Okay. So many different things, right? That's what we're going to play with for a moment. Okay, all of the things that information we get without speaking.
Can we use our hands?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I just don't want you to do sign your way.
Go like this.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But you can use your body however you like. And we want to do it in a way that everybody can see, which I realize is a little bit tricky in a circle. And maybe we'll get to everybody, maybe not, but I want to do a few of these, yes.
And what are we supposed to tell? Like how we're
It's a story in your mind. I'm going to give you a moment now to just think in your mind of like what I was thinking of is that I had broken a vase of Gwen's that she really coveted. It was like her favorite thing in the house, and I broke it. So it's something like that.
Okay, so we can make it up.
Oh yeah, make up a story. Yeah, you want to make up a
It's not
story.
real.
But it doesn't have to be about the other person.
Yes. Isn't it in relation to the other person?
It should be something that has to do with them.
In
I'm
relation
sorry.
to the other person.
So something that has to do with the other person. Okay?
Then the other person guesses and it says it.
Well, then we're going to do that out loud, just like I did. Like we'll just sort of take a look at it, and don't worry about trying to get it right. Just whatever comes to mind when you're looking at this. Okay? So Gwen, can you do something with Jamie? Okay. So Jamie, what do you think?
I think she's really mad.
What happened? Why?
Make it up. I went to knock on her door and she was in the shower.
Okay. You disturbed her shower.
I disturbed her shower.
Yeah, now that's reasonable. Anne, what did you think?
Maybe, I'm thinking maybe Jamie was supposed to do something related to Gwen's next class and scheduling or something, registration.
And somebody's
not ready.
And somebody was on that side of the room. So what did you see?
Something really bad happened.
What?
Bad.
Do you have a sense
You did
of-
something really bad.
Give us a sense of what it was. How bad was it? Say the concrete
On a scale
thing.
of 1 to 10?
No, say the thing that
Oh,
it
the
could have
thing?
been. Yeah, what could it have been?
I don't
It was so bad you can't even think about it.
know. Stole her boyfriend.
There you go. Okay, good. So let's do one over on this side of the room so the people over here can take a look. We're not going to go around and have everybody do it just for the sake of time, but...
Sure.
Yeah. What's going
that
on?
Ahmed was agreeing. We were having a really interesting conversation, and he thought that something was like really enlightening. I said like the smartest thing in the world, and he was like, "You, yeah."
Okay, what did someone else see?
I thought that he was surprised that she was, confessing or something.
Anybody was proposing. There you go. Okay, good. So that's really what I wanted people to get a sense of. So there's so much information that we get from each other based on how we are physically, how we're standing, how we nod our head. And I think that that's a really important thing because we think everything comes from language, right? The minute you introduce talking into a scene, oh, okay, I can figure all that out. But there are scenes that you can do where you say very little, but your body says a lot. Okay, so
I also think what's fascinating about this is that everybody thinks something different is going on.
Right.
I think that's a really interesting aspect of that activity, and that in some ways it's drawn particular attention to here because theoretically nothing's going on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That you really weren't, we think, mad at Jamie or like, but we have a whole story we can tell about what's going on, which I think is
Does it make
fascinating.
any difference if the person who was acting that tells us what was in their mind?
Well, what's interesting, when Marian and I were talking before class, the way she first explained the activity was you would go around, everybody would tell the story, and then you'd say to the person who was doing it, what were you really doing? And I objected to that because I said that I thought it was most interesting to take a look at that all of those things could have been going on. And maybe what's most interesting is that everybody has a different story. And I think we do that even when we're saying to Jamie, I'm really mad at you because you were late 10 times. Jamie probably has a different story going on, even if the words were being said. So, yeah. So I don't know. Do you think? I mean, I think obviously it's an additional offer if the person who made it
I
up.
don't know. I just found it interesting that I had the same opinion as somebody else, like identical. And
Yeah.
I wonder if that was the thought behind Jamie's.
Right. Which one did you think was even?
Well, I thought you had stolen her
boyfriend. Yeah. Was that in your mind? Gwen?
Well, it wasn't. Actually, but you know what's interesting about that? It wasn't, but I didn't really have much in my mind. But I work with teenagers, and I've been doing improv with a bunch of teenagers. That's almost always the improv scene that they There's a lot of you stole my boyfriend scenes.
Yeah.
So
It's
I might have been acting like one of them.
Yeah. And the other thing, as an improviser in a scene, and we'll, hopefully lead up towards some of this, is that when you start a scene as an improviser, you often do come onto stage with an idea of who you are and who the other person is, and you have to give it up in a second if your partner creates a different relationship.
So life too.
Yes. So that's just an interesting thing because you can come on like that, and you're sure like Carrie knows who this character is, right? And then she goes,
"Come on, dear, the physical therapist."
Right. So now I'm not a big, bruising guy. I'm like, maybe my back is out. I'm having some nerve problems, and so I'm walking like this. So that's why these things are really helpful, and the ability to give it up and not hold on to my idea. It's true. I know. Like all of that stuff, which doesn't help us anywhere. Certainly doesn't help us in improv. So I just want you to have a different but related experience of talking to each other without using words, using gibberish. So I wanted to do just some scenes, again in pairs, like we were doing.
You mind if you sit down?
No, it's fine to sit. Why doesn't everybody sit down? It's fine. And I just want to say a little bit about what we're going to do from now to the end of class is just work with the concept of yes and. So for those of you who have been around improvisation, that's like the basic building block of improvisation. So what does that mean? That means that you give an offer to your partner, which is often the line of dialogue, right? That's the offer. You know, I'm dying for a piece of candy. And then your partner is going to yes that, accept that. So, you know, if your friend says, I'm dying for a piece of candy, you might say, yes, of course you are. We're at the movie, and you can't watch a movie without a piece of candy. As opposed to saying, no, you're not. No, you're not. You don't want candy. Why would you want candy? You make candy. You've never had candy in your whole life. So that would be a no but response. And what builds an improvisational scene is this ability to give an offer to your partner. Your partner says yes, and adds a little bit to it, adds some more information, largely about your relationship. You find out who you both are through this yes and building activity. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. But you could have a relationship out of the no but.
Yes, you can. I was saying this to Carrie earlier. There are some rules in improvisation, and you use them to learn. And when you get sort of more proficient, then you can throw them away. But if you start out without the yes and the and, you won't be able to do much. That's good. With each other. You'll hit a wall pretty quickly. So, I mean, I was in a scene in class recently, and I was just obsessed with, I'm going to yes this, but I went against everything that the character I had created would do. So the yes and in the scene was to say no. No, I'm not going to
daily life.
What?
It also applies to daily life.
It applies incredibly to daily life, which most of improvisation does. So I just want to have a few moments for people to, turn to the person next to you and do a yes and scene, but in gibberish. Okay, so just make up a language.
Can we do an example?
Yes. Yes, So, you're just hearing some things that your partner is saying, and just play with it. Just try to get comfortable with this, sort of back and forth, and the silliness of speaking in gibberish.
One thing that you probably saw me do it, although I do it in my regular words, there's a temptation with gibberish to speak over the person, to not do the turn-taking, but the scene really works better if you allow the turn-taking to happen.
Yeah, and what the yes and element can be in gibberish is a sound that you really liked, that your partner gave you, or a gesture. It can be anything, but yes it, accept it, try mirroring their emotionality. Like if your partner is like, you might yes and by going, right? You're with that person. Okay? So here's a chance to just spend a couple minutes being silly, just like you did interviewing each other,
Same
learning
partner,
something.
different partner.
Doesn't matter.
Different.
Let's do different.
Yeah, let's switch around everything. You're gonna get a new partner.
How to do this?
Okay, so that was nice. Tell us what was nice.
Oh, it's nice actually not to use words. It's nice to just like go into nonsense stuff. It's like very young making.
Yeah.
And it feels like we're all foreigners meeting in Russia or something, you know?
Yeah. What else did people experience? What was that like?
I felt like I was talking with a playmate before we learned how to use words. It was fun.
And did people have the experience of understanding their partner and what was going on? What was that like?
It was a conversation.
It was a conversation, right?
Yeah. I understood them about as much as I understand people when they use
I think I understood that myself.
me, but
Yeah.
it actually turned into language. We changed it into language.
Into-
We had a bit of gibberish and then we started having normal discussion.
You thought.
You thought, right?
But I think, in my observation, if you are talking with the anonymous person and you never met or you never talk, I think gibberish is more easier than normal conversation.
Yes.
Easier in a sense to get understanding, emotional and psychological understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because it's more true, it's more simple, and it's more physical. Because gibberish doesn't have Hippocratic words. Gibberish doesn't have artificial characters.
Right.
That we know, that we learn in our lives, all hypocrisy and artificiality.
Good. Barbie, you were going to ask.
Well, just that, I get maybe it's similar to that. Like, I feel like we were a little bit like awkward with each other, like you would be when you're getting to know someone. And the thing that I think I understood was that she was communicating like she was uncertain about something. But I didn't know what. But I was like, okay.
And body language and facial expression
That's a big part of communication. Indeed, which you get a sense of in this, yes.
I found it interesting that the conversation went in waves, just like it would have.
Yeah.
But we weren't actually using words.
Yeah.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, the more you communicate in gibberish, the more you start to understand each other. It's just an interesting human thing. Yes.
I found that I was speaking while we were gibberishing. Like I almost was filling in words and.
Meaning your head, or
in
you
my
were
head.
actually using words out loud?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
I
me
wasn't
too.
translating the gibberish from what I was thinking,
Right.
but I almost was like filling in the story into words while I was engaged.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I noticed with this exercise and the one before with the silence is the instant mirroring that happens.
Right.
And it's almost like there's a pause, and then it's like, ooh, I received that, and
Right.
even without my knowing, I'm beginning to mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, mirroring is like a wonderful, wonderful tool when you're improvising. You know, some improv teachers say if you're in a scene and you just don't know what to do, you feel lost, just mirror whatever your partner's doing.
And something will emerge.
And something will happen. It's a great tool.
I had this funny experience. Mary walked over and joined we had a 4-person, and we pretty quickly created characters, including I believe I was married to Anne, and we had children, and they hadn't seen each other. You all hadn't seen each other in a long. It was so interesting. The minute that story started coming, I felt constrained in some ways that now I had to be true to the story that we had completely created. Like it was sort of a fascinating experience of the coming in and out of the truth of it.
Well, I thought what we could try now are some 2-person yes and scenes with English language. And I just wanted to say a few things about how this goes. First of all, we'll just play this very close to ourselves, so don't worry about making up characters or inventing stories. We're just going to do a very simple scene. Every scene will start with the line, "It's Tuesday and," okay? It's Tuesday and I really do want people to do some repetition in your yes and Carrie and I can do one so that you get a sense of it. And I think that there are, again, some rules which will help us. So when you're in an improv scene, don't ask questions. Make a statement. If you feel the pull to ask a question, which you will, just try to restate it. So one thing about an improviser is you know everything about everything. It's a beautiful thing. So if you want to say, are you going to the movies tonight? Just rephrase it as, you're going to the movie tonight because that festival's happening. And I know you don't miss the Marx Brothers when they come around. Do you know what I mean? So just don't worry where the end of that sentence is going. If you just go with the yes and, something will happen. And state it. Attend to your relationship. Attend to who this person is. It will emerge, but let it emerge by really focusing in on something that has to do with the other person. And it can be very simple things, what they're wearing, you know, their jewelry, their hair, color, anything. but try to stay focused and talk about things that have to do with the two people sitting there, not a scene about the weather. Try to bring it back to your relationship and add information. That's what the and is of the yes and. Keep adding some information, okay? So it's just a very basic scene, and it would be great if everybody would have the experience of doing this. So we won't let them run very long, because I just would really like everybody to see what this yes and is like. And Carrie and I might side coach a little bit.
Should we try?
Sure, we'll do it. I'd like people to sit close to each other to do that. Actually, why don't you and I switch places? I think it's easier to do these if we're a little closer. It's Tuesday, and we're shopping for glasses again.
Well, if you would stop sitting on my glasses, we'd be able to do something else on Tuesdays.
I sit on your glasses when I don't like how much money you spent on them.
Really?
Okay,
That's why?
Repeat the phrases.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we'll start over because I don't want us to do something more advanced than you're doing. So it's going to be limited.
Sorry.
It's okay. I didn't remember bunny. Okay, so start over. You start. It's Tuesday and.
It's Tuesday, and we're gonna have steak again.
We're gonna have steak again because you made me vegan. I had to eat vegan for a week, and now it's steak every night.
I wasn't actually
it's steak every night.
Steak every night, and I'm thrilled because that vegan thing wasn't working for me either. It was really doing something to my insides. Remember? It's just like they were all stuck together.
Your insides were all stuck together because before you met me, you only ate seaweed.
Before I met you, I only ate seaweed because I was at the ocean and that's what they had to eat. Now we're in the city.
But now we're in the city and we're eating cows today. But tomorrow we're going to have horse meat.
Tomorrow we're going to have horse meat? You're so good to me.
I'm good to you because I love you. So it's sort of simple like that. I really don't get complicated.
It's way easier when you start repeating it.
Yeah, you want to repeat, okay? So there's a pull to just go off and start, making stuff. Don't run ahead from where we are. Stay very focused and simple. Really look at your partner. Really listen.
Should we use these chairs?
Yes. What makes for really strong improv work is listening. It's really about listening and building, listening and building, listening and building. That's really all you're doing. And be connected to your partner. Like really look at your partner, make eye contact. Okay? So it's Tuesday and no question. Blah, 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 and then repeat. And I'll side coach a little, like if I see you getting away from that, I'll remind you that that's what we're doing. Lastly, I was remembering this. Try to just say fairly short phrases. It's also a hard exercise to do because you won't remember what were we saying? Because you've added like a paragraph. Add a sentence. Okay, let it really build so we can really see the yes and in here. Who are our brave two people who want to go first? Barb and
to get back in each other.
needs a partner. Okay, great. Let's give it a nice round of applause. So someone's going to start with it's Tuesday. Whoever feels like it. Start it.
It's Tuesday and it's my birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday. So we should celebrate your birthday in a great way.
We should celebrate my birthday in a great way. Yes, you should take me to Puerto Rico.
Yes, we can go there. I can take you there, but do you think that how much money would involve?
It will involve a lot of money, and that's why you're going to take me there.
Oh, I'm gonna take you, but I am afraid that I don't have so much money.
You're afraid you don't have so much money. She's afraid she doesn't have so much money. Everybody's afraid they don't have money.
Is everybody afraid? Because now is economic crisis.
Now is an economic crisis.
I don't have any money.
Okay, you don't have any money. You don't have any money, but we are going to celebrate your birthday because today is Tuesday.
That's very nice. Okay, next two. Next two. Be brave.
You gotta get up.
Have fun. Yeah. So I want you to sit on those chairs because it's easier for everybody to see, and it's our stage.
My balance is there.
Do you need help?
Okay, so the thing to remember is to really listen to your partner and don't forget to repeat a little bit.
Today is Tuesday.
And
Yes, today is Tuesday. And what do you plan on doing?
question. Okay.
Every Tuesday I see your ex-husband.
You see my ex-husband every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
And you have lunch with, question.
Make a statement.
You could just say,
Every Tuesday when you have lunch with my husband.
I don't have lunch with him.
You don't have lunch with him and you see him.
I do other things with him.
You do other things with him and you enjoy them.
We go shopping. We go shopping for food.
You go shopping for food every Tuesday. Fruit. Every Tuesday with my husband. Peaches. Oh,
Looking for the
sounds
purple
good.
peach. The
Good.
peaches are ready. They're getting ready, the peaches.
And on Tuesdays when you go shopping with my husband, peaches, it must be fun.
It looks terrific.
Okay. Okay, next two.
He's very rich.
Maybe in this life,
Yeah,
you
Puerto
were
Rico.
bad at him, you didn't.
Okay, let's have our next two.
Oh, here's a seat right there. Right there.
Okay, so remember, in terms of, and I thought you were doing a wonderful job of repeating, and you don't have to repeat everything.
Yeah, I realize how many questions I ask in my day.
Yeah, well, it's very helpful.
No, the question thing is a wonderful, wonderful thing to realize.
Yeah.
How much we go around asking questions.
Yeah.
Except for this exercise.
No, I think of it in a positive way to learn that. I mean, in improv, one of the reasons you don't ask questions is it puts the onus on your partner to provide the information. It doesn't give anything, it asks them. So for me, when I discovered that, I learned a lot about how I work with children, that I was constantly asking them questions. What are you building? Why are you building that? What do you think how big do you think it's going to be? And it never gave anything. Always asking them to give that. So I love that experience of discovering that.
Yeah, and I think the and, what you're adding, can be something small, but it should be some information, new information. So each exchange, we should hear a piece of new information. All right? So whoever's ready, it's Tuesday and.
It's Tuesday and I'm planning to go to the zoo.
It's Tuesday and you're planning to go to the zoo, and I am planning to go with you and bring 3 bottles of wine.
You're coming with me and bringing 3 bottles of wine because we're going to have a picnic at the zoo.
we're gonna have a picnic at the zoo and we're gonna taste the 3 bottles of wine and write a review.
We're going to write a review because we're wine tasting, zoo going, and this is a great way to combine all those things.
It's a great way to combine them, and we're actually going to test it out with the animals. Zinfandel, the chimps like the Merlot, and do the orangutans like Chablis.
So we're going to find out what the small and large animals like for wine. And combine our love of animals with wine.
Beautiful. Very nice. And just stay. Don't forget to focus on relationship. Who are you to each other? Because you know some things about each other. Just let's put that in our bag of tricks.
It's Tuesday morning and we're going to the theater.
Oh yeah. It's Tuesday morning and we're going to the theater.
Yes, we're going to
Okay, I'm gonna have you stop and start over. So for the purpose of this exercise, this is an exercise in agreement.
I heard it.
Yeah. You see how fast you went to like a fight or that's gonna be a fight scene. So in improv, generally speaking, especially when you're learning it, you want to cooperate and agree with each other and not go so quickly, which we do in the world we live in, to disagree and find something to argue about. We don't want to argue. We want to, what yes and is in its essence is fully accepting, radically accepting whatever comes your way, right? So I don't like spinach. Someone says, spinach for dinner. I can't believe you made spinach. I love it. All of a sudden you're a spinach lover, okay? That's how much I want you to embrace this, okay? So start over, brand new offer. It's Tuesday and?
It's Tuesday and we're going shopping.
Oh, we're going shopping. And where are we going?
Okay, that's a question. Try It's okay. You know where we're going. You know where we're going. So
we're going to Spain.
Good.
We're going to Spain. I cannot wait. My favorite city is Seville.
Oh, mine too. And I want to buy, one of those bullfighter capes. And you?
Just keep making your statements.
And you'll buy one too.
We're both going to buy these bullfighting cakes. And then we're actually going to go perform a bullfighting ceremony. And then we're going to drink lots of wine. And then we're going to go buy the dresses and be in a carnival.
Yes, I love you.
Okay, good. So one of the things, you made, I would say, 6 offers, right? So we're gonna get the bullfighting. We're gonna go there. We're gonna do this. One offer. Yeah, let's just work on these small building blocks, because that was hard to know what to do with all that information.
It was
It
too
was a
much
lot to yes
performatory.
and. What?
It was too much performatory.
Yes. So it's not a criticism, but it's like helpful to see how your partner was like,
okay, something about a bullfighting thing I remember, but now we're somewhere completely different, right? And I mean, I work on that a lot as an improviser, to be elegant in my words, because in life I talk a lot. So in improv I talk a lot, but it's not always that helpful.
Right.
It turns out it's more helpful to say less in my life too, but it's hard to it's a hard habit to break.
But I thought it was so interesting that once you stopped asking questions, how quickly we discovered what the two of you were doing. And it was just, that was so beautiful. It was like, oh wow, they're off and running.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Okay, good. 2 more.
So, it's Tuesday.
Dan, just take a moment. Just take one moment to look at Nina, make a little eye contact, and then dive right in.
So, it's Tuesday, and it's time for your big Russian exam, Mrs. Smith. I hope you studied.
It's time for my big Russian exam, and I studied all week for this exam.
You studied all week for this exam, and it's still going to be tough. Let's get going.
It's still going to be tough, but I can do it.
Do it. But I'm going to throw in a few curveballs, so be prepared.
You're going to throw in a few curveballs. And I am prepared because I studied all week.
You studied all week. Then tell me the declension of Novosibirsk's class. Please.
The declension of Novosibirsk was the Zhanik and Zhubala.
Beautiful. Well done, well done. 2 more.
Go to the window.
Because everybody's going to go.
She doesn't get a seat unless you get up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need a partner. There
Partner's
we
coming.
go. Beautiful.
It's Tuesday, and you forgot my birthday.
I forgot your birthday because I have so many children that it is impossible for me to remember the birthdays of 17 children.
You can't. You don't remember the birthday of 17 children because you met so many men.
I met so many men because I'm extremely hot. They are always wanting to be the father of my children.
They always want to be the father of your children because they're stupid.
They're stupid because they're men.
That's great. Good. That was nice because you, I thought you really worked with each other not to fight, with offers that were right for argument.
It's pretty amazing to not fight when your mother forgets your birthday.
Yeah. No, I really appreciated the work to build your scene rather than create a good argument, right? For an audience, I think I don't know what other people think, but for me as an audience member, so much more satisfying to see you attend to each other in the scene rather than get into a good fight, right? Because those offers, you know, it's like we've seen that fight 100 times, but we haven't seen this mom and daughter tackle these issues in this way. So that's just really, that was lovely, I thought. Good, okay, who hasn't gone yet?
Partner.
Anne?
Excellent.
Well, it's too. Oh, do you want to?
You started. Go for it. You started. So go
It's
for it.
Tuesday, and we're going to go scuba diving.
We're gonna go scuba diving in the Caribbean Ocean.
The Caribbean Ocean is one possibility. I was thinking of also maybe in Eilat, in the Red Sea.
Okay, I'm going to stop you for a minute because I just want you to have the experience of Anne gave you an offer of the Caribbean Ocean.
So I should accept it.
Yes. So
Okay.
let's just go back and let's see what happens if, even though every bone in your body wants to scuba
Take
dive
control.
somewhere else, I want you to have the experience of letting that go and loving the fact that you're going into the Caribbean.
The Caribbean, it would be fantastic. I've never been there.
Great.
You've never been there. This is why you're gonna be excited about it.
I definitely will be excited about it. So we're going next week.
Good.
We're going next week, and we're gonna stay for 2 weeks.
Wow, we're staying for 2 weeks, and we're going to go scuba diving every day.
Yeah, there's an underground museum where we go scuba diving every day.
An underground museum? An underground, can't ask a question, right?
So say something about, you are actually the world's leading expert on underground museums.
An underground museum of coral and exotic fish and
Yeah, there's coral and exotic fish and stingrays.
stingrays. That would be very interesting.
Great.
That's good.
It's like you just literally could see it getting built, right? I get this information, then that information, and it didn't. Nobody was trying to outshine, and so you just got the building blocks of a scene.
Yeah. And sort of to me, the next layer, like the thing I would want to see in the next couple of exchanges is who are you to each other, right? Are you two scientists who go around the world looking for certain stingrays, or are you best friends? Are you getting your PhD in scubology and this is your professor? So that's the next sort of step in building our scenes, is who are we to each other. Some scenes it's obvious, like the mom and daughter, and in this scene we don't know yet, but we want to find out. Okay, 2 more. Come on, Kathy.
For God's sake, I come here, I pay my money, and
Sorry. So it's Tuesday, and we're going to the Museum of Modern Art.
Oh, Museum of Modern Art in Nebraska.
That's right, the one in Nebraska. And we are going to charter a plane with many art critics, because this museum in Nebraska is like the latest equipment.
So we're going to charter a plane with a whole bunch of art critics and take the plane across the country to Nebraska to go see a new exhibit of Picasso's vases that he made. Nobody's heard from them.
Yes, we're going to see Picasso's vases in Nebraska, and who knew that Picasso was a vase maker? He made some of the most extraordinary vases, and some of them are cubists.
So we're going to see these vases that are cubists and circles and triangles and all these different shapes.
Okay, I'm going to take time out. It was great. In the next couple of exchanges, I want you to find a way to talk about each other and your relationship. Doing exactly what you're doing.
And don't go off on some other.
Yeah, don't. We're still with Picasso and his cutest vases in Nebraska. Yeah.
So we're going to be in this museum in Nebraska and see all these vases. So I think I'm going to buy one for you.
That's a beautiful offer. That's great. That's a beautiful offer. You're going to buy one for me. I didn't know that you were so wealthy here. But I think it's great that you have the $3 million it's going to take to buy this vase for me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great. Now that seems really interesting, right? So now I'm like, okay.
Why don't they know that she's wealthy?
Yeah, what's her relationship? Why don't they know that? Like, what's going on that she's going to spend $3 million on it? Like, it just immediately gives you, an open door to a really interesting investigation into these women and their love of strange museums and strange objects. Okay, who I think you have in mind?
These two?
You don't even have to
want to. You don't even have to go?
You don't even have to get up and move. You can do your scene right there.
Okay, let's go.
It's Tuesday, and I slept all day through on Monday.
Slept all day through. Must have had a good time.
I had a good time, and I missed you there.
You missed me. That makes me feel really happy and sad at the same time.
Yes, and I was wondering what were you doing that you couldn't come.
Okay, I'm just going to stop you for a moment. So, you got what I would call a really terrific offer in I was happy and sad at the same time. And I don't know about other people, but I really wanted that. I want to see something happen with that. Right? So,
The only way for that is not to ask a question.
not to ask a question, not to go away from it, to move in on, you're happy and sad at the same time because whatever, what do you know about this person?
Okay.
So give her that offer again. This is a lovely offer.
Happy and sad at the same. Oh, what was it again?
Yes.
I was happy and sad at the same time.
Because she was sleeping or something?
No, because you
she
weren't
missed
there.
you.
She missed you.
Oh, and you missed me, and I was happy and sad at the same time.
You were happy and sad at the same time because you were doing something else.
Yeah, I was doing something else. I was sleeping too. Right next to you.
You were sleeping right next to me, and I didn't see you.
Because she gets more intriguing.
That's the part, yeah. You didn't see me there because there's a big wall in between us.
That's right, there's a wall. Because we got into this huge fight on Sunday.
Sunday we got into a huge fight. You know why? Because there's a big wall between
These two have a very interesting relationship. Right? So they get in a fight, they build a wall, they make up, they knock the wall down.
They don't remember the wall there.
Excellent. Has everybody, Dylan?
Dylan's choosing not to.
Would you like to do one? You could do one with me or Carrie.
So do a scene with me, Dylan.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Our final, let's give a nice round of applause. Our final Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, and I finally got an A on my test.
You finally got an A on your test. You studied so hard for that test.
studied so hard for that test. And when I got there and I looked at the questions, I thought of you.
You thought of me because I helped you study. And you helped me study, and your spirit was with me as I answered the questions. My spirit was with you because I was thinking about you all morning. You were thinking about me all morning. So this isn't just about the test. We can keep seeing each other. Maybe we could keep seeing each other because I was thinking about you all morning. And
I was thinking about you all morning too. And it almost distracted me from the test. But then I thought how disappointed you'd be if I didn't do well.
I'd be really disappointed if you didn't do well because I know that getting into this university that you're going for is really important to you.
Getting into the university is really important to me, but I decided not to go.
All right, tune in next week. We'll stop there. Let's give everybody a round of applause. So I'm going to turn it over to Carrie to see if we can find our hypothesis.
Everybody look for it, okay? Ready? Go ahead. Come on! There it is. So, a round of applause for Marian. This part is equally improvised. Isn't that interesting? Right? We don't stop improvising to have a conversation. And let's explore. Did we discover anything? What was that like? Both for people who don't do a lot of improv, what was it like to kind of take those risks? And particularly, I think some of these two people exercises where you've got an audience looking at you and you're playing. What was that like? And for people who improvise all the time, was there moments here where you felt yourself needing to stretch or thinking or seeing this in a new way? Any thoughts?
Well, I've never improvised before, and I found it really interesting because I probably follow a lot of certain patterns, and it made me aware of the patterns, and it probably will change some of my ways of talking.
Good.
So I
That's
find
pretty
it really
cool.
useful.
You want to share one of your patterns with us? Or
Yeah, the questioning pattern and taking control pattern.
The great thing about improv, not to be whatever, liberal, take care of you, is you can discover that and then you can make use of those patterns when you want to, but they don't have to be so instinctual. They don't have to be as if you don't have any other choices. One of the things I love about improv is it expands your repertoire. It doesn't contract it.
Right.
It doesn't have to make it smaller. So, what other people? Yes.
What I had was I felt that it was Tuesday and I had this great compulsion to eat steak.
Me too!
Bread, steak, LDL, no more veggies. That's what
you got out of the whole thing.
My
work here is done.
What's the hypothesis?
I haven't come to that yet. I'm working on it.
I found it felt really good to listen in such specific little ways and to repeat it helped me to hear it. And I was also kind of overwhelmed by how invested I got so quickly, like what was going on. And
What I love about that experience is it in a strange way frees you up to be both more invested all the time and to take things less seriously. To realize that you can create that kind of connection so quickly, I think also makes the times when you fail to not seem don't have to be quite as devastating.
Yeah.
Because it's not like there's once in a lifetime moments to create that kind of connection. There's like, you can just do it.
Yeah, also the other thing you're saying, Dylan, about the listening, like the very, very precise type of listening. I mean, I'm in a class now at the Magnet with a very difficult, demanding teacher, which has been a good experience. And he said you have to listen like a hawk when you're improvising, and he will, like he called me on something because there was one word, like I had a bullhorn and the other guy was the protester, and the protester said, I'm protesting against some oil spill, right? But he had no commitment. He didn't know anything about the oil spill. And I missed that. Like that was an important, that could have been the springboard for a really interesting scene with the cop and the protester is protesting something that he doesn't really know that much about. Do you know what I mean? But I missed it because I didn't hear that word. I wasn't listening enough, like a hawk, which is really helpful also in life. We're hardly listening to people when we talk. We're hearing ourselves, the next thing we're going to say, and you miss it, or you're thinking and not really listening, and you're pretending to listen.
Can I say one more thing about that? It's just, I work with 3-year-olds, and when I'm with my kids, I think I actually do that. I repeat what they say, and I'm really listening to them. But when I'm with adults, I'm definitely focused on the next smart thing that I'm going to say. And I'm really listening. It was fun to do that with adults.
Yeah, it's a really great skill. Like I really want to learn to listen like a hawk. I love that image.
Yeah.
Two things really strike me that I got out of it. One was the comment that you made about when working with children and stopping with the questions so that you could really give them and have that just really touched me. And what also touched me, I know about the yes and I've done a lot of work on being in the moment and accepting what is, but somehow it never went together. And so I really got, oh my God, it's about it. And it just changed yes and for me.
Right.
In a wonderful way.
Right.
So it was lovely.
I really like the part about just really loving it more than something that you don't like, something that your initial reaction is, ugh, yuck. And then you could invest in it. You can turn that off and just love it as much as anything. I love liver!
Right.
Like you could do that.
Yeah.
I found that extremely helpful because I kept thinking you just would have to mask how you feel.
No, I mean, one thing, the teacher that Carrie and I studied with, Rachel, she always says, let it affect you. Like if somebody, says something to you that you don't like, you don't have to mask that in an improv scene. You want to let it affect you. Nothing should be masked, in other words. It's very open and exposing in the most positive way. And as an audience, again, it's very satisfying if someone, is being sort of not so nice to their scene partner. You want to see the impact of that. You don't want to see too like, hey, I'm in an improv scene and I'm funny, and you want to see these things. So you want to see everything.
Well, and I think what one of the things Jen was saying is the experience of going joyfully with something you don't like actually changes whether you don't like it in some way. There is some of the experiences that we tend to relate to our emotions like they're what comes first and last, instead of that they're part of the creative activity of what's going on and they are transformed by what's going on. So you both don't have to deny the emotion, but you don't have to be so wedded to it that no matter what happens, I'm not going to like artichokes. Like it's just, that's. think that's a.
Can you acknowledge that you don't like
Sure, I mean-
that the other person likes artichokes, but you like broccoli?
Yeah, I thought what Marian said
Would that be a
particularly
yes?
about this exercise was that in some ways we're so, the thing I always want to say to people when they go that route, and often what people say about improv is, but you don't always agree with, right? Are you saying I always have to agree with everybody? And I don't think so. But I think we are so blind to how much we're governed by our own self. I like this, I don't like this, I agree with that, I don't agree with that. We could give an hour, right, over to I'm going to agree. An hour. We're not talking about every moment of your life. So I thought what Marian was saying at the beginning is, it's an exercise. And for the exercise's sake, for this hour, we're going to agree. There certainly in improv theater, beautiful scenes are built once people get advanced enough at agreeing that you can actually disagree without negating. Right? There's a big difference between disagreeing and putting somebody in their place in such a way they're never going to be able to say anything back to you ever again. That's what we're trying to avoid. Do you know what I mean? Like the scene I always think of, the first person says, there's a famous scene in an improv book. The first person says, I think it's, honey, I want a divorce, maybe, right? And the other person says, we're not married. Right? It's like, I'm going to make you so dumb that you are never going to be able to say anything back to me ever again. That's more than disagreeing. You know what I mean? That's not disagreeing. That's
negating.
Pure and simple negating. But when you first start, I don't think that nuance is so easy.
Yeah.
So there is some joy in saying, I love artichokes. They're my favorite thing in the world. That I don't think has to do with giving up your, inner self or something. Well, that's a whole other class, but.
I think that in all, I do lots of improvisation in my daily life, but every time when I do, I learn new tactics of entertaining and accommodating. And I think all improvisation, except that you stop the other person, based on options of entertainment. That how you entertain others, how much you give options. I mean, and there is a lots of space to give options to others to entertain. And whenever I do, I learn new techniques how to entertain others. I mean, lots of things we don't agree, but we can go further.
Yeah. Are you using entertain? I just want to, because I think you could, both definitions that I think many of us have would work in that. Are you using entertain in the sense of keeping somebody entertained, or are you using it in terms of entertaining different ideas and being open to
entertaining others' conversation,
Communicating.
options.
Yeah.
So unless the improviser or whatever the both have a position, unless they entertain, they have to entertain.
Yeah.
At the point, like to take that, or even to disagree, but to have first have to take that, then they can disagree, but in a momental way.
Yeah, I think of it as, again, back to children, it's entertaining those things in the name of keeping the relationship, building the relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like partly why you have to play with agreeing is I think we've become so accustomed to putting what we think, what we believe, what we like, what we don't like ahead of everything else. Right? But when young children play, when they play outside, the only goal often is to continue the play. So to the extent that they decide to agree, because they fight all the time, it's because in my opinion, they're doing it in order to continue the play.
Right.
Because the natural consequence when you're young is if you don't, you stop playing, you go home. You take your marbles and you go home. And pretty quickly you learn, if we're going to play, we're going to have to do something other than take our marbles and go home. So I think of improv as that. It's like, okay, do you want to take your marbles and go home, or do you want to keep going with the scene? And I think that's as adults, we're not very good at it as children, but what's the word? The stakes are much lower, if you will, in some ways, but also we want to play. We're very driven to play for whatever reason that is. As adults, I think we're so driven by the am I right? That it's,
now I remember when I was young, I used to play cutout dolls with my friends, and that's what we did. I guess that's what we did, right?
Yeah.
I think conversation in that though.
No, we did. We played different characters. So we were doing improv.
Definitely, unless somebody hands you a script, I don't know about it. But even when they do hand you a script.
That's it, we made it up.
You make it up.
Yeah, that's play. So, oh, that's great.
Yes.
So one of the things I loved about, like, you really hate little, but you get off it and you get into loving living. It's just an opportunity to not be attached to your preferences.
Right.
So it's part of the whole be with what is, and you know, you might discover that you even love living, really love living. You know?
I mean, there are moments like sometimes this happened to me this week in my class. You know, there's a fellow who he just put me into like a really low status, sort of crappy situation. And every bone in my body is like thinking, this guy's so sexist. I just want to have a fight. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to relish in my low status. You know, he's the guy. I'm, you know, whatever. And the scene like came alive. And it went against my grain. Like I was like, you know, just the minute he initiated the scene, and he was there, and I was there, and I just thought, okay, I'm gonna play the shit out of this scene, and it was like wonderful, and man, oh man, that was a good experience because I just went with it, and we created something. And had I gone with my feelings, my reactions, my judgments, everything about me, we couldn't have done much. It would have been a really sort of crappy scene. So it can be very freeing in a strange way.
And you knew it was acting. If it was real life, you might have not handled it the same way.
Who knows?
Chances are.
Yeah.
But it is an opportunity to do real life. So a guy comes on to you and treats you like shit.
Dust where I was.
And you go,
Yeah, like you realize you don't have to go with all of that.
Right. You know,
There's
other
options.
Right.
There's 10 other options in any given scene
more
or
choice
moment.
the better.
That's right.
Right.
Well, it's not only, yes, it's totally that there are options and that we are option creators.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a menu of options that we're picking from. We can be creative. And I think that one of the things I love about improv is it's not easy to translate into real. It's not like you can walk out here and the next time somebody puts you in a crappy situation, it's that. And it is that easy. It's both. It's like it's such a fascinating thing because you have to, and the only way, and I don't think all improv schools teach you this, what we believe strongly in is this is real life. Like, where's the line? Who drew the line? And so you have to at least let yourself have that you can create that. Now, I think the world is full of very constraining situations, and there's moments when you choose not to, or you shouldn't do it because it's too dangerous, or you don't have what you need to do it, and all of those. But none of those are the same thing as not knowing you can, not having that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's to me is somewhat of the difference.
And it doesn't mean that you're not creating that scene
Either, yes.
You just could have created it in a different kind of way. You know, so that you taking us through, I just loved how you took us through. Even Bunny has some meaning.
I'm mortified.
Bunny has no meaning.
It came at us so quickly.
Yes.
And we still had to just keep going. So the combination of listening like a hawk, but not asking questions, like listening like a hawk, but giving more information into the thing, you saw the new worlds were being created. People were really creating things that had never existed before. So that's very, very, that's very cool. I saw that in the way I had to see it.
Did you want to make it up?
Yeah, two things happened to me that were actually three that were all different from each other. One is my daughter is a director and she runs improv groups where she's, when she works with teens. And this is my first improv, so it just gives me more insight to what she does and how much looser she is than me. And secondly, I think I want to put a sign where I work saying yes and, because I realize I operate in three ways. I really agree when I really agree, question if I don't understand, and I challenge. Like, well, tell me why you feel that way. Why do you think? And I'm like, the Inquisition.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably, more room for me to be yes and less confrontational and more open, even if I don't agree.